Well, hello again. This is Aaron, and this is the second video of a series of videos I'm making about creating wine from apple juice or any kind of juice. In my last video, you saw me create a gallon of apple wine and then a gallon of apple and cranberry wine, and how I went through that process to get it to here. This has been fermenting for exactly 1 month today. And the next step is to stop the fermentation process or slow it down to almost nothing. This is an airlock, the jar. You might see it popping here. It's still going. Look at that. After a month. So there's going to be some alcohol in here. But the next step is to start to change this from its opaque nature into a clear wine. It's gonna strengthen its taste, and it's gonna make it more appealing to look at. So what we want to do is start moving this product to different containers. Now, I'm going to experiment with a new way to do it today, but I'm also going to explain the way I've always done it. And I'm going to show you both, okay? But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to take this liquid and we're going to move it to this bottle. But we're going to do it in a way that, you can't see it. Oh, there's a little bit of sediment right there. The fermentation process creates a sediment on the bottom. You're never going to fully get rid of it, but there's a lot of it suspended in this liquid. And what I want to do is get as much of that suspended residue out of there, retaining only the liquid. So it's a multi-step, or it's a multi-sequence process. Really a simple step, but I do it over and over and over. I might do it half a dozen times before I drink this. So I'm going to experiment today with simply just filtering this out. So I've got this funnel, big funnel, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a coffee filter, just a regular old coffee filter. I'm going to put it in there, just like that, and I'm going to take it over to the sink, and I'm going to very slowly, without disturbing that sediment on the bottom as much as possible, I'm going to very slowly, after I take off the airlock, I'm going to very slowly pour it into this jar, through this funnel and through this filter. I haven't done it that way before. I've always used the siphon hose with a tube. Got this on Amazon. It's very, very handy. You put this siphon tube down into the jar, and it's got this notch in it. It's supposed to keep the sediment from going up because it doesn't touch completely. I have found that it does pull the sediment up because this thing really sucks pretty well. So I never really touch the sediment. I get as close as I can to get as much product out, leaving only the sediment behind. And I'll show you that when we get to that. I have another jar of cranberry apple, and I'll use my preferred or my old method. But I want to experiment today, so we're going to try just a simple filter to see how much we can get out of here. It may not be noticeably different, but after 6 times, you'll be able to see right through it. It'll be as clear as like a Chablis or something like that. All right, I'll show you that in a couple of pictures, and then we'll come back and talk about the other jar I want to use with this siphon hose. All right, here we are. We got the funnel on there. I've got the filter inside of it. Now I'm going to bring in the apple, and I'm going to, I can't really show you in the frame, but I'm going to very slowly tip the bottle and pour it into the filter. There you go. You should be able to see it filtering through. Smells good. Let me complete this, and we'll see what we got in the filter. Yeah, it's working. I can tell that it's still not going to be completely clear, but I think we'll be able to notice the difference. Let's get the rest of this done. Alright, so the filter system, I don't like it as well. What I'm finding is, as I tip the bottle into the funnel, I'm agitating the bottom, and I'm stirring up all the sediment, and I can see the sediment pulling away from the bottom each time I tip it. I can't pour it all in at once because I'll overflow the filter, so I'm very carefully pouring a little bit at a time, and as I'm doing that, it's becoming slower to filter through because of the sediment that's in the filter. So I think that the siphon hose is going to be a better system. I'll show you that next. I think if I didn't have the siphon hose and I only had coffee filters, this would be all right, but I'm probably adding multiple sorts, multiple times of switching between bottles by doing it this way. So okay, well, it was worth the experiment. Let me finish this and we'll see what's in the filter. I would say I don't like this. I don't like this because, let's take a look at this filter. I don't see very much. I expected more. You can see what's left in the bottom. And you can also see it's up here. It's not supposed to be there. I would say that this is not the preferred method. Perhaps later on in the process, but right now I don't think so, because by tipping this jar back and forth, see that sediment down in there? By tipping this jar back and forth, it kicked it up. So I'm not even going to use this. I'm going to throw this out, and I'm just going to keep this over here now. Let's get it up on the table and take a look at it and see if it's any clearer. Well, I suppose that's the nature of experimentation. So I'll show you my other way to do it, using my siphon hose, and you'll see that it's I'm going to get more of the liquid out, and I'm going to leave more of the sediment behind. All right, let's go to that one next. What I'll do with this is done. I'm going to put a cap on it, transfer my label over to it, and I'm going to put this somewhere out of the sun. I'm not going to tighten that down too hard. I'm just going to put it like that. The lid, I didn't tighten it down too hard. I just till it stopped and left it like that. Still going to be some gases, off-gassing in here, but I'm going to put this up underneath my desk, wrap it up with a towel, and come back and revisit it in about 2 weeks. And every 2 weeks, I'm going to use the siphon hose to move it to a new bottle. Let me show you how I use the siphon hose, and it's going to be much quicker. All right, so this is a cranberry apple that I made a month ago. Boy, can you see the sediment on that? Probably not. Let me see if I can go in. A little bit. See that the the lighter brown color on the bottom. I'm going to leave that behind and get this out. So let me show you how I do that. First step is to take off this, take the airlock off. Okay, so pretty simple process. What we're going to do, there's a new jar, and here's the siphon hose I showed you before. The jar and the siphon hose have already been sterilized. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this inside, and I'm going to keep that tip from hitting. Let's see, move over here a little bit. I'm going to keep that tip from disturbing that sediment on the bottom. So I'm just going to, as the liquid moves down, I'm going to get this closer and closer, and at some point I'll just stop, pull it out, so as not to disturb that sediment down there. So that's what we're going to do right now. All right, it's going through and moving down into that bottom jar right there. I can't see my tip, but I'm holding it up. I know it's not at the bottom. Look how quickly this is draining. It's just really rocking. Look at that. She's going now. You got to keep it in the water, or keep it in the fluid, keep it in the product. Otherwise you lose your siphon. But you can see I'm right on the top. Right on, don't want to lose my siphon. And I'm going to stop this here. The filter process took about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. This has taken less than a minute. All right. Whoops, touched it. I don't want to do that. Slowly tip it. You can see it's getting cloudy. Ooh, baby, that's it. That's all I want to do. All right, let's take a look at this. See all that? It's hard for me to hold the camera and hold this at the same time. Look at all that. Much more in the bottom of this than was in the other one. So, this is what it looks like later, after we're done moving it. And this will be I'll throw all that out and using that. And you're going to repeat that every couple of weeks, maybe every week if you want to. Just keep it doing it over and over, and eventually this will all be cleared up right here. Smells amazing. It really smells amazing. So, okay, let me pause this and we'll put a wrap on this video. Okay, so these guys right here are ready for another couple of weeks, sitting up underneath my desk. And the process here has been removing all this junk on the bottom, all that, getting all that out of there. I forgot to mention, one trick is to keep one of these gallon-sized juice bottles. Just keep one laying around. I've already sanitized it. I would probably sanitize it again after or before I used it. But you need to have a gallon-sized receptacle to transfer to. If they're all full and they're all in the process of making product, you won't have anything to transfer to. If I was in a pinch and I didn't have another empty bottle, I could transfer this using the siphon hose into here, clean out my jar, and then put it back in my jar. Or not. I don't know. So for the cost of nothing, I have a backup way to get that out. Anyway, so that's how I do it. A little longer video than necessary because we experimented with the filter, and I'll just call the filter a fail. You can see that the siphon hose is a much preferred method here. I got much more sediment left behind and save myself 25 minutes. So that's the process. All right, we're signing off from here. That's juice wine, and the second phase of making juice wine. Signing off.